I know you
Sorry,
are my student of
sorry.
sociology,
Yes,
but I don't know about your second optional.
sir. My second optional is geography.
Second optional is geography. Okay. Yeah,
Sir.
Prabhu Prasad. Yeah, so may I know your academic background?
Sir, I completed my BTech. Then after I sir completed my MBA degree in management, and after that I worked for 1.5 years in a company, and
Yeah.
I left the job and preparing for the
Okay.
civil service
Okay.
examination.
So you have done BTech in which stream?
Sir, electronics and telecommunication engineering.
Electronic and telecommunication. So being a student of engineering degree, in OS exam, you opted sociology and geography. Don't you have any confidence in the subject in which you have pursued your engineering degree? Why did you change your optional?
Sir, before preparation, starting my preparation, sir, I go through the syllabus and previous year questions and the marks secured by the selected candidates.
Yeah.
Sir, then I found that very less number of people are taking this engineering subject as their optionals because of
Yeah.
sir many reasons and vast syllabus course. So then I also go through the syllabus, and I found the geography and the sociology are most interesting, and it is also mark fetching. That's why, considering all those points, I chose to
Okay,
take this
okay,
subject
very
as an
good,
option.
Prabhu. Very good for giving me an honest answer. But just wanted to know the route during your graduation days, means while you were pursuing your degree in engineering. At that point of time, were you not aware about the fact that compared to engineering subject in sociology and geography, the civil service aspirants are scoring good marks, better marks?
No, sorry, sir, I don't have that much
You
of
were not
information on
aware of
those
it.
days.
Okay, okay,
Sir.
very good. How do you think your knowledge about geography would help you to become a better administrator?
Sir, geography is a broader subject, sir.
Yeah.
It is from starting from agriculture, to climate, the soil, and etc. to some extent hazards. So everything is covered. So
Yeah.
as I have some knowledge regarding those, so I will try to implement it in my the benefit of the people, my knowledge, pre-existing knowledge in geography regarding the cropping pattern, regarding the soil, regarding the other things. I will help. I can help them on this way, sir.
Yeah. If you are not posted in the Department of Agriculture as a joint secretary, if you are not posted at all, then do you think that your knowledge in geography would contribute you to become an effective and efficient administrator?
Sir, it is a diversified job. Suppose
Yeah.
I am not posted right now, I am not posted on that profession what you have said. So later on, there is a possibility of getting the opportunity to work on agricultural sector. So when I will work, then I will, sir, apply my pre-existing knowledge on that, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So Vibhu Prasad, you hails from which district of Odisha?
Sir, I belong to Kendrapada district.
Okay, okay, very good. Vibhu, you are answering in a very good way. Though I am conducting a stressful interview, but obviously you are having patience and perseverance also to deal with the questions that I am asking you. And suppose I am very happy and I gave you very good mark. You got selected as an OS officer. After some years, you got promoted to the post of collector cum district magistrate of Kendrapada district. Hypothetically, I'm telling. Okay. So right now you are posted as collector cum district magistrate of Kendrapada district. You know, Kendrapada is not industrialized. It's not an industrialized district. Being the district collector of Kendrapada, what step will you take in the matter of making the district of Kendrapada industrialized in an effective way?
Sir, as Kendrapada, which is having lack of mineral resources, so those kind of industries were not feasible at that time. And as my district is, sir, agricultural centric district. So I will try the contract farming and, sir, the more number of agro processing units, the food parks, and also, sir, there are many tourist destinations in my district, like the Bhitarkanika, the Baladevji temple, Siddha Balaji temple. So that
Yeah.
eco-tourism kind of thing I
Vibhu,
can develop, sir.
you gave the answer, but you could not give the answer in a focused way. I wanted from you, in matter of making Kendrapada district effectively industrialized, what step, being the district collector, you have to take? You are a student of geography, you might have studied many countries in the world. Those who are also lacking mineral resources, they have also become highly industrialized. Yes or no? Different countries of the
Yes, sir.
world. Do you think that for the purpose of having steel plant, obviously the minerals but the iron ore must be there inside the ground of the country? Is it necessary?
No, sir, it is
So
not necessary.
how can you make Kendrapada industrialized in an effective way, being the district collector of the district?
Sir, the huge Odisha has a huge raw materials, like minerals and mineral resources. Sir, in the neighboring district, which have sufficient amount of, sir, natural resources, the minerals. So I'll try to utilize them in an effective way. And, sir, the port facilities are available very close to my district, the Paradip port, one of the major port of Eastern India. Sir, from that, I think it will be, it can be, sir,
Very good.
mineral related industries.
Absolutely correct, Vibhu. Prabhu. Another things I wanted to know from you. What is your hobby? What is your hobby?
Sir, my hobby is to some extent social work. I used to associate with the people of my villages at my leisure time, sir. I used to guide them. Sir, I guide them during the, sir, to the doing sanitation works, to drive the plantation works, to use agricultural, to use less fertilizers, to use biofertilizers. To some extent, I also guide the young children of my locality.
Okay, very good things you are doing. Vibhu, Prabhu, may I know what is social engineering? How engineering is different from social engineering? You love to be engaged in social work, as you told me. So I'm asking a question, Prabhu. What is social engineering? How is it different from engineering?
Sorry, sir, I don't have any concrete knowledge on that.
Yeah.
But, sir, my point of view, social engineering means applying, sir, the engineering knowledge for the development of the society, in my point of view.
Okay, simply networking, developing the network of the people, and obviously utilizing the network of the people for bringing development for society. It's not necessary that engineering knowledge will be applied for social engineering. Okay. Doing the things, bringing development to society by bringing network of relationship is called social engineering. Okay. Yeah. Prabhu, may I know what is your strength and what is the weakness of your personality?
Sir, I have very hardworking person, very hardworking my strength is, and I do not react and do not have an aggressive kind of thing. And my weakness is, sir, to some extent, if I do not leave the work in which I am doing that.
Sorry,
for example,
I could not get your weakness, John. What is your zone of weakness?
Sir, I am doing some work. I could not feel relaxed until and unless I complete that work. For that, some people also, sir, some people think me negatively, call me selfish kind of attitude. I am also working upon that too.
I think that is your strength. Why do you think that is your weakness? I think it's your greatest strength. You will not quit a work unless and until you complete. Nobody would say that it's a weakness of a person. That's rather reflects the strength, or consolidated strength of your personality. I think so. Okay,
Sir, you
apart
are
from
correct,
that,
but sir,
you don't have any other weakness that you have detected and diagnosed till the date.
sir,
Okay, okay. You are a student of sociology. Can you
sir.
tell me what is the fourth wave of feminism? Fourth wave of
Sir,
feminism.
the fourth wave of feminism basically deals with uh, the use of internet or use of the internet to sir, which is harmful for the women, and the best example is sir Me Too movement.
Very good. What is the basic difference between Karl Marx's views on class and Max Weber's views on class?
Sir, according to Karl Marx,
Yeah,
so class is a group of people who have the ownership of the production. Another one is there are two types of classes basically in the modern
yeah,
capitalist society.
yeah.
But Max Weber, according to Max Weber, this is the life opportunity. That is called it the class. The basic difference is that.
Sorry. As per Max Weber, what is the class?
It is the life opportunity chance, sir.
Life chance. It's
Life
a life
opportunity,
chance.
life
Life chance.
chance, sir.
Life chance, both Karl
Sir.
Marx and Max Weber, both of them have connected class with life chance. Then how Weberian views on class is different from Marxian views on class? Have you had a concept? Market
Sir,
situation and bargaining capacity? Market situation and bargaining capacity. These are the concepts used by Max Weber just to make a difference from Marxian views on of class. This is the fundamental difference. Okay. Okay. Prabhu Prasad, can you tell me why in Odisha the rate of violence against women is increasing day by day?
sir, there are many factors for that. But sir, the factors like in Odisha we have the patriarchal society, which is for that. Sir, in the secondly, sir, the less women police officers in our
Very good.
class, in
Yeah.
our state, and sir, thirdly, some people are in a different mindset that because of inappropriate behaviors and inappropriate dressing patterns of the women, which lead to that kind of molestation and which lead to ultimately sir violence. Sir, apart from that, sir, illiteracy is also one of the basic reason which lead to that kind of sir violence.
Okay.
Illiteracy of the women are.
Okay, very good. Prabhu Prasad, can you tell me who is called Utkal Ghanta? Who is called Utkal Ghanta?
Sir, Jadumani Mahapatra.
Jadumani Mahapatra. Why he is called or he was called Utkal Ghanta? For what specific reason? You know, Ghanta is used for the purpose of beating. Yeah, so why he is called? He was called Utkal Ghanta.
Sir, he was a famous poet. In his poetic language and poetic literature, he used everything in a very sarcastical way. He still delivered the same thing, but he used in a very sarcastical way. Sarcastic way. That's why he's known as Sir Utkala Ghanta. Means giving that kind of sir sense, and he's known as Utkala Ghanta, sir.
Oh, okay, very good. You know, in which court he was working, in under which princely state this Utkal Ghanta was working?
Sir, it is Noyagad, I think, sir.
Yeah, he was in Noyagad. Yeah. Okay. Prabhu Prasad, just make an imagination. First, you think certain factual things. These days, this China is extending its footstep into Indian Ocean. And right now, imagine you are the Foreign Secretary of India, being the Foreign Secretary of India, what step will you take in the matter of pacifying the aggressive approach of China and how to bring normalcy between Sino-Indian bilateral relations?
Sir, first of all, I will have some discussions with the Chinese people, that not Chinese people directly, with their authorities, their external ministers, regarding the maintenance of the stability in this region. And sir, I will have the people to people interaction, which will also lead to some kind of stability on that region. And apart from that, sir, I will have some the mechanism to also counteract that. Right now, sir, China has taken some debt trap by adopting debt trap policy. He has leased some islands of some different, some ports of some different countries, and totally encircling India, which is known as a string of pearls. And sir,
Okay.
India government is not sitting his hand tight. He has also take other also same mechanism, and which is also called by many political scientists, sir, diamond of necklace.
Yeah.
So, but sir, I will have that dialogues. I will have to, being the oldest or one of the older tradition, both the countries, China and India, we had a very good bilateral trade on those days in the ancient times. So I will try to convince them those things, and also sir, in the same time, I will have to develop our strength in Indian Ocean to counter that.
Okay.
Both the mechanism will go hand in hand, sir.
Okay. Very good, Prabhu. You know, Chinese people don't have the ability of speaking or writing English. You are a student from engineering background. Our IT professionals are having expertise in matter of writing and speaking English in a flawless manner. Even Indians, they are known all over the world for speaking and writing English in an outstanding way. But Chinese are not able to write or speak English properly, rather they communicate by using their language Mandarin. But in IT sector, Chinese professionals have progressed. China has progressed like anything compared to India. Why? Can you tell me the reason behind it?
Sir, English is just a language. It's a medium of exchange. Okay,
Yeah.
the communication is for the purpose of communication. Sir, without using English, one can also communicate and deliver his things to others. No problems with that. Apart from that, they are very hardworking, sir. They are very tech savvy people, and so they basically try to develop themselves. Sir, in India, sir, we have many languages, so it is difficult to one nation and one language formulas are up till now, but they have the single language they are using, so it is quite easy for them to do anything in their using their own language.
Yeah.
So as we are, sir, unique in diversity, sir, unity in diversity, so it is quite impossible for us to do all the technical coding etc things in that our native language. So we have adopted that common language, that is English. They have the one single language, so they can utilize it, and they also excel in their sphere, sir.
You see, India attended independence on 15th August 1947. China as a country was formed year after India attended independence, that is in 1948. Okay. But in China, there is party dictatorship, that is communism. On the contrary, in India, we have democracy. Democracy believes in the principle of dissent. And in the name of dissent in our parliament, really deconstruction, devastation is taking place, really. So do you think if India comes under single party regime, that is communism, if hypothetically I'm telling, if India is adopting to the path of communism, can India grow like China has grown?
Sir, that might be.
So you believe communism is a better form of government for the matter of bringing development? Are not you happy with the democratic regime of our country?
Sir, I am very much happy with the democratic form of the government which India has. And I also, sir, do not on the far of the communist regime what China is experiencing, because the workforce which is facing the problem, there is no fixed hour, and they are working relentlessly. So that might be the reason. But democracy is the better form of the government in my point of view, sir.
Okay, okay.
But sir, India has
That there was a great sociologist, one of the prominent and prolific sociologists of America, who categorically mentioned the fact that democracy is the best form of government. And preaching democracy, even one day he went to that extent of declaring the fact that no country will be regarded as a modern country unless or until democracy has been gained ground in that country. Can you say the name of that prominent sociologist?
Sir, sorry, sir, I do not know.
He is none other than Professor Talcott Parsons, a professor of Harvard University. Okay, Prabhu Prasad, can you tell me the connection between Nanda Sutta and the Nandi Ghosa?
Sir, Nanda Sutta means
Nanda Sutta and Nandi Ghosa.
Yes, sir. Nanda Sutta means the Lord Krishna, which is regarded as Nanda Sutta, the son of the Nanda. And sir, Nandi Ghosa is the chariot of Lord Jagannath.
Okay.
So they are different yugas. So that is difference of yuga. Person is same, sir. It is
okay. God is same.
Sir,
okay. That means Nanda Sutta sits in the chariot called Nandi Ghosa. Okay. How many wheels are there in Nandi Ghosa? How many
in Nandi Ghosa? 16 wheels. Sir, 16 wheels are there in Nandi Ghosa.
Okay. Who is the Sarathi? Who is the Sarathi in Nandi Ghosa?
Sir, Garuda.
Okay. Okay. Prabhu Prasad, you know, during the period of pandemic corona, large number of people in our country, including our state Odisha, they have lost their job. They have gone below the poverty line. Can you suggest me some practical measures how to make them, how to contribute for increase of their income, and how to give the job to them, how to give employment to them?
Sir, in Odisha, there are around 4.6 crores of people in Odisha. Sir, it is quite impossible to provide them the job. It is quite impossible.
Okay.
Sir, if we will develop the entrepreneur, the startup schemes provided by the government of Odisha and India, and sir, so it will be very much helpful for them. For example, sir, Odisha is having agrarian economy.
Yeah.
So if you will have the agro-based industries, and sir, use of the technological aspect, the setting of the techno-based industries, sir, whatever the facility is there in the Bhubaneswar, which is called a smart city, same facility we can we can start in the village level, because the poverty is more rampant in the village level. So by setting the agro-based industry,
so you want to make our villages smart villages, like smart city of Bhubaneswar. You want to make our villages smart villages, and you know how much would be the project cost if we want to convert every village into smart village? What would be the project cost? You know it. Is it possible on part of government of India right now?
Sir, that much of sir. Presently, the Pradhan Mantri Grama Sadak Yojana, almost all the roads are concretized. Almost all the roads are concrete in the villages. Sir, that is all the road. There is no problem on the road part. Sir, also the establishment of various sir hospitals, etc. They are also there. Here the problem is, sir, unemployment. Sir, by using the techno-centric industries, sir, same the tax aggregator service, Ola, Uber, which is present in Bhubaneswar, that in the smart city, that kind of, sir, apps can be developed at a very less cost. Even if, sir, the food delivery can be done in the village level, and sir, everything can be done by using of technology. I think technology will be the much more importance on making that in the transferring the village into the smart village. Even if without government intervention, it can also be done.
Okay. Prabhu Prasad, what is artificial intelligence?
Sir, it is an intelligence which is artificial. Sir, it is an intelligence which is artificially done. For example, the machine which has the capacity of thinking as like the man. So it is has a sir, it is have a wide use in the future and also.
Got it. Prabhu, can you tell me the difference between an isthmus and a strait? Isthmus and strait.
Sir, and strait which connect a small narrow water body which connect the two big water bodies, and isthmus is the land mass which also connect the two land masses, sir. Isthmus. For example, Isthmus of Panama.
Yeah.
It is the Malacca Strait.
Yeah. So, what is the difference between westernization and Sanskritization?
Sir, westernization is a process of is a socio-cultural change in which we are adopting the Western model of the change, sir. Where the Western society impacts the Indian society. We are westernized. And Sanskritization is a process of socio-cultural change where low caste people, even if the tribals, by adopting the rituals of practiced by the higher caste people and also the higher caste people, so they are getting Sanskritized. So they are upgrading their status.
Okay. You know, section 497 has been decriminalized, has been declared by the Honorable Supreme Court as decriminalized. Decriminalization of section 497 will have what type of consequences to Indian family and marriage system? First, section 497. And it's a decriminalization and its impact upon marriage and family.
Sir, section 497 is basically deals with the extramarital affairs or extramarital relationship. Sir, recently, sir, the Apex Court has decriminalized it. Sir, it has, sir, we are the Indians, and sir, for us, this is a kind of sin, or sir, if this thing is done in the hidden manner, the extramarital affairs is done in the hidden manner. If the person has that kind of thing, so he is doing it in the hidden manner.
But right now it can be done.
In the present, it can be done. Sir, right now it can be done. So, but as the many developed countries like the Western countries, they have adopted that, doing that. So, for the time being, it is it creates some instability in our society. But slowly and steadily, it may be right as the Supreme Court has done it. So we have to go for it.
Okay. You know, recently the government of Odisha has taken a decision of giving reservation to the students studying in government-run schools in matter of admission in engineering and medical colleges. Government schools children or student will be given in matter of admission in engineering and medical colleges. How this decision of government of Odisha will help in upgrading and uplifting the quality of education in government schools?
Sir, you have rightly told that the government has taken the historic decision. Sir, actually the problem is that right now, because of some sort of maybe infrastructural bottleneck and other things, the people, the lack of teaching faculties, and so people are right now they are not parents. They are not interested to send their children to the government school. So they are more focused on the prestigious private schools. Right?
Yeah.
If as government has done that, So now the parents will be very much cautious, and they will send their children to the government schools or government run schools. Then the government is also focusing more on development of the infrastructure and development of the that may be physical infrastructure and the social infrastructures. Okay, so that will be the efficiency of the government school will be increased. Sir, recently, not recently, sir, we have witnessed the Delhi's transformation of the government schools, where the parents are demotivating to send their children to the private schools, and they are taking their students to
Okay.
government schools. And
Yeah.
sir, it will increase the glory of the government run schools.
Okay, very good. Prabhu, what do you mean by euthanasia? Euthanasia. Euthanasia.
Yes, sir, euthanasia, in the sense, sir, we are giving someone wants death because of some sort of reason, that may be some other diseases, etc. Sir, we have to give the dignified death. So that is the euthanasia, sir. What I think it is.
Mercy killing.
Due to some problems, sir, mercy killing.
Okay. Okay, very good. Prabhu Prasad, how can you see the difference between ethno-nationalism and nationalism? Nationalism versus ethno-nationalism. Just I want to know the difference.
Sir, nationalist is a person who always says that my country is the best country. Suppose, sir, in case of India, so it is the Indian nationalism. So all the states, irrespective of the state, he thinks that it is my country, it is India, it is the best country in the world. Sir,
that is
nationalism means
ethno-nationalism.
So that is nationalism. So this is nationalism, what I said. Ethno-nationalism is regional nationalism. For example, the people of the Bengal, so they will say the Bengali nationalism. My state is the best state as compared to other states. Odia nationalism, Tamil nationalism, similar way, they are giving more priority to the regional consciousness, regional values, regional nationalism. So which is a very narrow concept as compared to
what are the other dimensions? Very good, you are correct. Prabhu, what are the other dimensions of growth of ethno-nationalism? Apart from this language, what are the other dimensions for growth of ethno-nationalism in India?
Sir, other dimensions like language is there.
Yeah.
Sir, the culture, the tradition, the other parameters. There are many parameters.
That other. I specifically wanted to know from you, what are those other dimensions? Can you tell me? Can it be developed on the basis of tribe, Munda nationalism, Naga nationalism, Garo nationalism? Can it be based on caste, like Brahmin nationalism versus Dalit nationalism? Yes,
yes,
it
sir.
can be.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes,
Prabhu.
Yes, sir, it can.
Prabhu, suppose you are eliminated, you are not selected for civil service exam this time. What would be your reaction? What would be your future action program?
Sir, I am quite focused and I have given my 100% effort to qualify this exam. Sir, I have also, if everything got wrong and I am unable to qualify, then I will try for the next time. Even if in the next time I will fail, so I will utilize my pre-existing knowledge to get a dignified life as well as my good contribution to the society.
Okay, Prabhu Prasad, you really performed in a wonderful way with beautiful analysis. I'm hopeful that you will be selected. You will not be eliminated at all. This is my hope and expectation with respect to you. So wish you all the best. Thank you for participating in this mock interview online organized by me. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you, sir.